But you were on the original NXT, the game show, and you did the obstacle course and all this different sort of stuff, and it was kind of ridiculous. But like, there was a moment that I think that arguably put you kind of above the pack in terms of how they were going to present you, and maybe that you were going to win the show. And it was a week where you were in the UK. And there was like a talking segment that you did where everybody was going to talk and you did really well. Can you talk through what that was and why that ended up being such a strong week for you?
Yeah, so NXT, if anyone didn't see it at the time, it was this silly game show. Supposed to be like X Factor or something like that. 8 nobodies come up who were termed rookies, and the winner of the show ends up being the next WWE superstar. The remaining 7 guys probably fired, who knows. And because we were coming up through the developmental system at the time that really wasn't spoken about in WWE, it's not like NXT is now where they're very proud of it. They were pretty much embarrassed by FCW. So anyway, we come on the road and we're treated like dirt from day one by the guys in the locker room, by management, by the writers. We are seen as guys who just haven't earned their spot yet. We're treated as the lowest of the low. We're not allowed in the locker room. We're really treated pretty badly. So about 4 weeks into the NXT show, we're in the O2 Arena in London. We're filming the show, and we'd had these ridiculous challenges so far of obstacle courses and stuff like that. And this week, they get the 8 rookies in the ring, and Matt Stryker, who was the host at the time, he explains the rules of this challenge. And the challenge is going to be the Talk challenge. And the rules are, each one of you will come up one by one. You'll get 30 seconds on the clock. We will give you a random word, and you will need to talk about this word for the next 30 seconds, make it entertaining, and make it a wrestling promo. So that's a terrifying prospect for anyone. And I'd always seen myself as a good talker at that point, and I looked down the line at the other guys, and there were some real bad talkers. So I thought, whoa, if I'm nervous, these guys must be petrified. And let's take Justin Gabriel, for example. Very good friend of mine, amazing athlete, South African. He wrestles as PJ Black now. He can do all kinds of flips and stuff like that. Watch him in the ring, he's incredible. He's never been a good talker. He gets up there and Matt says, right, 30 seconds on the clock. Justin Gabriel, your word is flowers. Justin Gabriel looks up. I like flowers. And the whole crowd just starts booing. They get it. He's got nothing. So he's out of there. And he's a baby face. So this is a disaster. The whole 20,000 people in the O2 Arena booing this guy. Heath Slater goes up. Heath Slater, your word is cereal. Now, Heath Slater, we'll get onto this possibly a little later, isn't the smartest guy in the world. And that's being nice. So Heath starts his promo, and rather than actually cutting a promo about cereal, he just starts listing brands of cereal, which would have been bad. But remember, we were in the UK, and he starts listing American cereals that people in the UK have never even heard about. So again, he's a babyface. The whole crowd is just booing. Daniel Bryan goes up. I can't even remember what his word was, but he didn't go well. He stands back in the line. Skip Sheffield, later became Ryback. He goes up, he gets a word. He doesn't even talk about the word. He just talks about how great Skip Sheffield is. Yep, shoot, what it do? Again, complete disaster. And we've gone through 7 guys, and it comes to me at this point, and the crowd is bored. They've had 6 minutes of the worst shit WWE have ever put out on TV. So I go up, I'm like, holy fuck, this is going to be bad. And I know Vince is in Gorilla at this point, pulling his hair out, and people are tuning off TV. No one wants to watch this crap. So I get my word, and Matt Stryker, right, 30 seconds on the clock, your word is wind. And it just so happened that earlier that day, I'd been in the gym on my iPod and listening to The Winds of Change by Scorpions. So some spark came in my brain at that very moment, and I cut a promo. I said, ladies and gentlemen, the winds of change are now blowing in WWE. I'm Wade Barrett, and I am your next WWE superstar, and I assure you I am going to be the first ever British heavyweight champion of the world. That end bit didn't quite happen, but at the time, the crowd got very excited. Everyone's on their feet. Everyone's cheering, and I feel great. I know I've won this. I walk back to the line. It gets announced I've won the challenge. I won some prize. I can't remember what it was. And we all walk to the back at that point. And the rest of the guys are feeling pretty sorry for themselves as we walk up the ramp. I'm marching very proudly. I've just blown the O2 Arena away. I walked through Gorilla, and at this point, I don't think Vince knew who any of us were. He'd barely spoken to us, barely noticed us. he was excitedly waiting there as I came through the curtain to shake my hand and tell me what a great job I did. Triple H, who was someone who was starting to gain power behind the scenes in WWE at that point, he was there shaking my hand. Chris Jericho, who was my pro and kind of in charge of me, he was incredibly excited, jumping up and down. Hey, Vince, look at that. Did you see that? Barrett's my rookie. I taught him how to do that. It was a very Chris Jericho moment. And then CM Punk was another one who came up to me, patted me on the back. That was a great job, Wade. So that was kind of the first moment where I felt embraced by some very senior people in WWE. And probably the first moment where I felt like they now look at me as somebody who has potential here, somebody they can do things with. And I truly believe that that was the moment that, even though there was about 6 more weeks to go of the show, I believe I won NXT Season 1 in everyone's minds at that very point, which went on to lead to me being the leader of the Nexus and main eventing pay-per-views and having runs with Cena and Randy and really solidifying myself as a WWE superstar. So what could potentially have been a complete disaster and ultimately led to the demise of a lot of superstars, for me personally, that was the moment where I really made it in WWE.